Wild horse, we're obviously going to do things a little bit different than we would with her, but she's very quiet and very willing and accepting of most of the stuff we showed her yesterday. So I'm going to just take a flag and kind of introduce. I like to every horse that we work on, we review the stuff that we did the day before. We don't want any surprises really. I don't want them to surprise me, and I respect the fact that they don't want me to surprise them with anything. So I'm just going to introduce this flag to her again. She was pretty accepting of it yesterday. And I don't really like the term desensitizing. I like a horse to be sensitive, but I like them to be accepting of different things that I present them with, and because I want this horse to have some life to him. It's pretty hard to train a horse that is so dull that you can't get him to move. And that's a little bit where this mare's at. She is a little bit dull. And so we're just going to put a little bit of life into her. Now she's accepting of this flag, but I want her to start to read my body language, okay? So I'm going to put a little bit of life. I'm going to open up her door. This is a good deal. I offer her a good deal. I raise my hand and offer her a place to go, and she takes it, okay? Now if I want to add a little bit of energy to her, I'm just going to get her going. As soon as she starts to move, I take the pressure away. She slows down, then I'll add the pressure, okay? I want her to be willing to move out and go somewhere. It's hard to teach a horse whoa if they won't go. Okay?
You mentioned yesterday too, Rod, that it's kind of like dancing. So exactly. if you increase your energy, she should kind of catch up to you instead of stepping on your feet or falling behind.
That's right. I like to dance. My wife and I, that's actually where we met, was at dance. And she came there with her boyfriend, and he was more interested in trucks. And I took the opportunity to introduce myself to her, and a couple months later we were married.
Kind of like with these colts, you're a fast mover.
You bet. No sense wasting time. If it's the right thing, do it, man.
Well, I like a guy that makes up their mind too. If you're going to sit on the fence all day, sometimes an opportunity just goes by.
Oh, you know, this guy had been dating her for 7 years and hadn't done anything, so I stepped in and took advantage of it. Caught her on a rebound, and it worked. And we've been married for about, well, it'll be 24 years in January, so.
How many?
24.
Let's give Rod and his family a round of applause for that.
Thank you. We've got 6 children. I got 3 girls, 3 boys. Wyatt's my second, and then Trigger over there, and Brody somewhere. And then, up there. And then I've got a daughter that's 21 years old, and a daughter that's 15 and 14. 15 and 13. Yeah. And okay, so see where this mare wants to get a little sticky, so I'm going to just up the pressure a little bit, because I want her to move. Yesterday, it was just a little tough getting her to move. There. Okay. And she's pretty willing. Now, I don't want her to be scared of this flag. I've been kind of spanking her out of this flag, but as soon as I release the energy in my body, okay, she needs to learn to read that and understand that I don't want her to go. So this flag isn't necessarily what makes her move, it's the energy in my body that makes her move, right? So I can flog her with this flag, it doesn't bother, but as soon as I ask her to go, I'm going to offer her a good deal, okay? She took it, now I just want to increase the pressure, so I'm just going to, come on little sister, time to move out, okay? Time to go somewhere. Now you notice this little mare, when she gets pressured up a little bit, she kind of wants to just pin her ears back, and you know, I don't really want to do that kind of an attitude. And so we're going to work on that just a little bit this morning and see if we can help get her over that attitude of just not wanting to go anywhere.
You know, Rod, one of the things you mentioned, I've heard lots of times people say, I can't get my horse to go, or I can't get him to stop. Where this horse is, if left with kind of the attitude she's got, would it take long for her to get barn sour or buddy sour or anything?
Oh, this is the prime example of one that will just hang in the barn and not go anywhere. And so she needs some definite leadership. All horses need leadership. And if we don't give it to them, they're going to assume the position of leader, right? That's just natural selection. The horses do it in the field. If they've got another horse that's a little more bossy, then they'll back down. Or if they got one that's a little passive, they'll take the leadership role. So horses are just like that. And so they need to realize that when we're working with them, it's our turn to be leader. We're only going to spend a short amount of time with them each day. Even if you're putting in an 8-hour day, that's still the minority of the day, right? They get the rest of the 18 hours of that day to themselves. So for the period that we're with them, they need to be willing enough to let us be the leader. But in order for them to let us be the leader, we have to be a leader. Okay, we have to know what we want and know how to execute what we want to get out of that horse. So this mare, like I say, she's pretty willing to accept most of the stuff that we're doing with her. So we're going to go ahead and saddle her up and get her moving out. On a horse like her, in the round pen, I'm not going to try to push her too much because I don't want her to get to where she's just really sour. If we were at home on a horse like her, we would get her started in the round pen, get her moving out, and then as soon as we could, weather permitting, and that's, you know, as long as the wind ain't blowing 100 mile an hour, and I'd take Wyatt or one of the boys or whoever's with me, and we'd just take this mare out and go for a ride, so she's got someplace to go. Horses like her that are, you know, I think they're kind of smart because they realize, you know what, the more I lope around this pen, I'm not going anywhere. It's kind of like running on a treadmill. I've never understood the value of a treadmill because you run all forever and don't go anywhere, right? I mean, you can definitely get yourself in a little better shape by using a treadmill and all that kind of stuff, but you're still going along. Your legs are moving and you're not going anywhere. All right. And that's okay. That lets me know that this mare's got a little bit of energy. Okay? And the reason she's bucking like that is because, you know what, she's just kind of a little bit sour about doing something new. And so we'll put her to work. If she wants to move, that's great. Because that's what I want her to do. I want her to go someplace. And so I'll use that energy that she's got right now and put her to work. You want to move? That's awesome. That's awesome.
She doesn't put a whole lot of effort into it, though, does she?
No. No. But, you know, it's enough to let everybody know that she's not broke, right? And it's enough for me to know, you know, if things don't go just right, it lets me know just kind of what she's got in her. Is she going to buck me off, or is she going to, or is she just going to kind of hop around like that, and I can probably handle that. Okay? There. That's all right. So I want her to get loping today. We didn't get a lot of loping out of her yesterday. Now, yesterday afternoon, I really appreciated the way Andrea came in here, and you noticed she had about 3 or 4 whips that she used. And just to comment on the whip, a whip is not a weapon, right? A whip is a tool. No different than a gun or a knife or even a bomb, right? Dynamite is a tool if we use it in the right place, right? If we point it towards somebody's house and blow it up, then it's a weapon. But if we use it to, for seismic or whatever, I worked just a little bit of seismic, and we'd put those 2-kilo tubes of dynamite down a hole, and then we can do the seismograph stuff, right? So dynamite is definitely not a weapon, but used in the wrong way, it can be very destructive. No different than a whip. A whip is just a tool, and it's an extension of our arm. It allows us to move this horse around and get him to do something. But if I was to just go ballistic on her and just start beating her without a purpose, then that becomes a weapon.
Rod, that's one of the things you often see, though. People let their emotions get in the way of the teaching, and so the whip becomes punishment instead of the tool like, you're describing.
Exactly. And patience is such an important thing. Patience is control of your emotion, right? And when we lose our patience, it shows that we just don't know a better way, okay? We've lost control of the situation, and we don't know how to fix it, and so our emotions come to the surface, and we get mad, and we start beating on something, and you really see that with cows, right? Everybody says, that dumb old cow. Well, that dumb old cow just outsmarted you, man. Right?
You're too late, right?
You're too late, yeah. Or that horse, or that kid, or whatever it is, they outsmarted us. We don't know a better way to get them to accomplish a good thing, right? So that's where it's really important for us to come and learn and ride with different people and try to figure out a different and a better way. There we go. Okay, now I'm just going to try to open her up here and see if I can get her to move just a little bit faster. I really want to get her. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this mare, like I said, because the more time we spend in here trying to get her to move out. There. Now I'm just whipping the ground behind her, right? I'm not spanking her bum, I'm just using the noise of the whip to try to motivate her. If that isn't enough, then I might crack her on the bum, okay? But I'm not going to just try to welt her backside. Come on. My wife gets really upset when she hears that crack going, because she thinks I am getting a little bit too aggressive with it, but...
Well, you do what you have to,
you kind of do
and no more.
Exactly. Do what you have to do and then leave it, right? And understand, be able to read your horse. If this mare just is really having a hard time wanting to move out, and I just, get mad, I want to get this horse done, I want to get something done today, and she's not quite ready for it, we've gone backwards, right? So I'm going to get a little bit, and if that's all she's ready for today, we'll be happy with that, because there's always tomorrow. It's not a race, it's not a competition. This mare's not going to any show anytime soon. She doesn't have to be ready for a springtime futurity or anything like that. So we've got time to gradually build her confidence up, and we know that she's going to lope, right? We've seen the mare lope. She's been out in the field. She's loped with the other horses. We know it's physically possible for her to lope. Just in a little pen like this, she just doesn't see the purpose of it. And so we're going to try to help her see the purpose of it. So I'm just going to get her to lope a couple strides here. There we go.
You mentioned yesterday, too, about giving a horse a job. Heard the same thing from Dale Montgomery with the dogs.
Yeah.
And this mare has seen every inch of this round pen yesterday already. So unless you create an interest in something, she's not going to pick up on anything more interesting in here on her own.
Exactly. Now I'm going to put these bags on her again just to review. Like I said, we could probably just jump on her and go to riding, but these are just little things that I've started to add to my program just to get horses used to stuff, right? Because there's always stuff that's going to happen.